Live from the IchiTV Network Center, this is IchiTV News.
Good afternoon. Today is February 24, 2025. I'm Oskee Walden, and here are the stories that you need to know on IchiTV News Now. For national news, former ABS-CBN journalist Jay Ruiz takes oath as PCO chief. Attorney Claire Castro named Palace Press Officer. Veteran broadcast journalist Jay Ruiz took his oath as ad interim secretary of the Presidential Communications Office before President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in Malacanang on Monday. Ruiz replaces Cesar Chavez, who has tendered his irrevocable resignation last February 5. In an interview with Malacanang reporters, Ruiz vowed to combat fake news and provide clear, precise, informative. So why you wrong using wrong photo? So second photo. And educational information to make the administration to closer to the people. Ang utos ng Pangulo maliwanag na maliwanag. Sabi niya, dapat malaman ng ordinary Pilipino ang lahat ng mga programang makakatulong sa tao. Tao muna, bagong lahat, Ruiz said. Siyempre, maraming mapapakalat ng fake news. Lalaba po natin yan. Makakaroon po tayo ng public information responsibilities. Kung kayo mga vlogger, kinakailangan natin maging responsable, may responsibilidad din kayo sa tao na magsabi ng katotohanan, she added. Ruiz said that he would be working closely with outgoing Secretary Chavez on a smooth transition in the PCO. Meanwhile, lawyer and radio personality Attorney Claire Castro also took her oath Monday as PCO Undersecretary, with a special designation as Palace Press Officer. As Palace Press Officer, Castro will be holding press briefings with his members of the Malacanang Press Corps, Ruiz said. The President can speak for himself. Tayo lamang po ay mag-explain, mag-expound kung ano ang direktiba, kung ano ang mensahe, pronouncement ng palasyo, she said. Meanwhile, Chavez welcomed the appointment of Ruiz and Castro to the PCO. Ako ay natutuwa sapagkat ang hinirang na ating Pangulo na maging katuwang ninyo at magiging katuwang niya sa mga mahayag, patakaran, programa at proyekto at mga sagot sa importanteng bagay ay isang veterano sa pamamahayag. Itong dalawang ito, actually sa broadcast, makasamahan ko, medyo naulang ako ng konti sa kanila, he said. In other news, COMELEC says meeting with survey firms on Monday. The Commission on Elections is set to hold a dialogue with leading survey firms on Thursday, February 27, to establish clear guidelines on monitoring election surveys during the upcoming midterm polls. COMELEC Chairman George Garcia announced on Monday that invitations will be sent to approximately 6 well-known survey firms. The meeting aims to clarify regulations and ensure transparency in the dissemination of survey results. Garcia emphasizes that media entities, religious organizations, cause-oriented groups, civic organizations, and educational institutions are not required to register with the Commission when conducting election surveys. Ang aming regulasyon patungkol sa surveys ay hindi patungkol at hindi applicable sa ating mga media entities, religious organization, cause-oriented groups, civic organizations, at educational institutions. Hindi po kasama na kinakailangan maparegister, Garcia explained. However, Garcia urges these groups to disclose who commissioned or funded their surveys to maintain transparency. Gusto namin malaman sa report kung sino ang bayad nito, anong ginamit sa scientific method, he added. Informal Casada surveys or suite surveys are also exempt from mandatory registration, as are surveys conducted by news outlets. Garcia clarified that these fall under the protection of press freedom. Nonetheless, Garcia warned that failure to register applicable surveys constitutes an election offense. This is the biggest attempt of COMELEC to regulate surveys, he declared. For international news, global prayers as Vatican says Pope still critical. Francis is alert, but the complexity of the clinical picture and the need to wait for the pharmacological treatments to have some effect mean that the prognosis remains reserved. It concluded. The Pope, the leader of the Royal Catholic Church since 2013, was admitted to Rome's Gemelli Hospital on February 14 with breathing difficulties. He was initially diagnosed with bronchitis, but this developed into pneumonia with both lungs, and on Saturday night, the Vatican warned for the first time that his condition was critical. In Sunday's update, it added, the Holy Father's condition remains critical. However, since yesterday evening, he has not presented any further respiratory crisis. In a message published Sunday, but written in the past few days, Francis thanked hospital staff and said he had confidence in his treatment. I am confidently continuing my hospitalization at the Gemelli Hospital, carrying on with the necessary treatment, and rest is also part of the therapy, he said. I ask you to pray for me, he concluded in the next published in the lieu of his weekly Sunday Angelus, which he normally delivers from an opening window overlooking St. Peter's Square. Well-wishers have been leaving candles outside the Gemelli, where Francis is staying in a special papal suite on the 10th floor, and where the Vatican said he took part in a mass on Sunday morning. I am praying for him, for his health, because he is a special person for all of us. Italian teacher Il Zito told AFP at the hospital. Prayers and messages of solidarity also came in from among the almost 1.4 billion Catholics across the globe, alongside other Christians and world leaders. In the Cathedral of Buenos Aires, where Francis was once Archbishop, TV screens at the entrance showed images of then Jorge Bergoglio's good works, and the priest held a special mass Sunday. He is strong, he has always been strong, but there is nature. Hector Armando Diaz, 76, a retired wrestler, told AFP there. I know he is very ill and old. I hope he recovers, but it makes me sad. In Iraq's northern city of Mosul, a former bastion of the Islamic State group that Francis visited in 2021, at least a dozen churches also held prayers for him. This is the least we can do to express our solidarity, love, and appreciation for this great person, said university professor Adnan Hadi. Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, offered her hopes on social media for a speedy recovery for the great humanist Francis, the first pope from the Americas. In its evening update Saturday, the Vatican had also said Francis was alert and spent the day in an armchair, even if he was suffering more than the day before. But the news of this respiratory attack and blood transfusion sparked widespread shock and alarm. The Pope gets worse, headlined Italy's Corriere della Sera's newspaper Sunday. La Repubblica described it as the darkest day at the Vatican. Francis' continued hospitalization and also sparked speculations about whether he might step down. He has always left the door open to following his predecessor, Benedict XVI, who in 2013 became the first pope since the Middle Ages to resign. But he has repeatedly said it was not the time. The Pope maintains a punishing work schedule. He carried a mammoth 12-day tour to the Asia Pacific in September, but has suffered increasing health issues. He underwent colon surgery in 2021 and an operation for a hernia 2 years later. He is overweight and has constant hip and knee pain, which forced him to use a wheelchair. For developing story, Pope Francis, in a critical condition with pneumonia since he was hospitalized on February 14, had a good night and was resting, the Vatican said Monday. The night passed well. The Pope slept and is resting, it said in a brief statement, as Francis, 88, entered his 11th day at Gemelli Hospital in Rome, making this the longest hospitalization of his papacy. For our sports news, for NBA, Cavs hold off Grizzlies for 7 straight wins. Donovan Mitchell scored 22 points to lead the Cleveland Cavaliers to a 129-123 victory over the Memphis Grizzlies in a testy cross-conference NBA clash on Sunday. T. Jerome scored 26 points off the bench. Evan Mobley added 25 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists. And Jarrett Allen scored 113 points with 10 rebounds for Eastern Conference leader Cleveland, who improved their league best record to 46-10. The Grizzlies, second in the Western Conference and coming off a come-from-behind victory in Orlando on Friday, were led by Jaren Jackson Jr.'s 22 points. Ja Morant added 21 points and 10 assists for Memphis, who trailed 62-56 at halftime but briefly seized a 1-point lead early in the third quarter. Cleveland were back on top and both coaches had already received technical fouls when a scuffle erupted midway through the third quarter, where Mitchell and Desmond Bain into a scuffle chasing a loose ball and ended up wrestling on the court. Security rushed in, as did players from each team. Mitchell and Bain both received technical fouls, as did Morant and Cleveland's Tristan Thompson. Cavs coach Kenny Atkinson said he was only sorry that multiple players got involved. Stay up the way and let the two guys tussle. Everybody else stay a bit, he said. The Grizzlies kept clawing until the end, slicing an 11-point deficit with 5 minutes and 54 seconds to play to treat 42.4 seconds to the clock, but the Cavs closed it out on the free throw line. The reigning champion Boston Celtics, fueled by the near triple-double from Jason Tatum, cruised to a 118-105 victory over the New York Knicks. Tatum scored 125 points with 10 rebounds and 9 assists, and the Celtics, who led by as many as 27, thwarted a Knicks comeback to post a 5th straight victory. Karl Anthony Towns scored 24 points and grabbed 18 rebounds for the Knicks, who traded 77-50 early in the third quarter, but cut the deficit to 4 points early in the fourth. Back-to-back three-pointers from Derek White launches a Celtic surge, with the Knicks caused further hurt by a right leg injury to Towns, who limped to the bench after a drive to the basket and appeared to be hindered when he returned to the game. Second half of the season is almost time to lock in, Tatum said. And for our entertainment news, Baron Geisler detained, released after paying fine for drunkenness. Actor Baron Geisler was detained for a few hours in Cebu after he was arrested by authorities for allegedly violating a local ordinance on drunkenness last February 22. Mandaue City Police Office spokesperson Police Lieutenant Colonel Mercy Villaro said that the actor was drinking with some family members and friends when local police received a call about an incident involving Geisler. Our Canduman Police Station received a call na nanagwala siya, said Villaro in a phone interview. He was then arrested by police officers who arrived in the area. Geisler was taken into custody for violating City Ordinance Number 11, 2008-434, or drunkenness. Villaro added that both parties settled and Geisler was released at around 6 p.m. He paid a fine of 500 pesos, added Villaro. ABS-CBN News is reaching out to Geisler for his comment. In his Facebook post on Monday, February 24, Geisler finally broke his silence, saying he is okay and seeking legal advice. However, the actor did not say what issue he was referring to. At sabi nila ni Bang kasi sa Facebook post, sabi nila, breaking my silence. Can you show it? Breaking my silence. There's a lot of misinformation circulating, especially from news outlets that fail to verify the facts before reporting. Irresponsible journalism has blown out things out of proportion, creating unnecessary confusion. I want to make it clear. I'm okay, and I'm seeking legal advice to address the following. To those who continue, who stand by me, thank you. To support means everything. Hashtag Truth Matters. Hashtag grateful. And that's the latest news update from IchiTV News Now. For more news updates, you may log on to www.ichitv.com.ph/news and follow us on social media sites for more news updates from the ITV. From the ITV News Center, I'm Oskee Walden. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Live from the IchiTV Network Center, this is IchiTV News.